Hey, John from Home Stratosphere here. Today we're going to redesign this boring beige living room with AI into 5 different designs. We're going to go for fall vibes, cozy, rustic, lots of natural materials, but we want very different designs. The other parameters is we want to keep, we're not going to like be blowing out walls. We're not changing the ceiling. We want windows are. We just want to redesign the actual aesthetics of the room. So I'm going to step you through exactly how I do this. On our site, we publish a ton of before and afters, wildly popular, they're fun to make, and this will give you full control if you use the tools I do. They do cost money, but if you use some AI design software out there, it's going to cost you money too. Every before and after we create, it costs us. And so, I'm going to just show you the tools I use, how I go about it, and you can take it from there and redesign your own rooms or create whatever you want from scratch. So what I do is I go to ChatGPT. You could probably do this in Gemini for free or use free ChatGPT or pay for ChatGPT. I like ChatGPT for prompts. It's fun. It does a good job. So what I did is I took our living room there. I added there. I said, this is our before living room. I'm going to design it. Now, if you want to go luxury, if you really want to see what spectacular is going to look at, you got to include words like luxury and high end. All right, cozy's good, and we're going to go for fall vibes. Now, obviously, people are going to redesign their room for seasonally, but I plan to do some decor videos for different seasons too, and AI can be helpful with that. Now, this is really important when we're doing what I call before and afters. Okay, so now I created this with AI, but you can certainly, of course, you're more likely to take a photo of your room and upload it. What you want to do, this is important when you're doing these befores, is you want to make sure you get as much of the room as you can. You don't want a corner, you don't want a portion. You kind of want to see the whole room if possible. It makes it a lot easier to get a full design. Okay, so this is important. Adhere to fireplace, window, ceiling configuration. We want to keep all that there. Now, obviously, if you're looking to move walls and stuff, you would instruct to move the walls. Now, I want to give you a really clear warning. The tools that I use, this is not going to create perfectly dimensioned after designs, or if you look closely enough, you're going to see some of the distances and all are not perfect. These are not like hand them to an architect and they're going to redesign it. You hand it to a designer, or you can hand it to an architect for inspiration, but they're going to have to really tighten up the dimensions and the measurements and everything. That AI is just not to that stage yet. All right. Few things. I like lots of texture, natural materials. Bold is a good word. I like bold design myself. If you don't like bold, then don't put it in there, but I'm going to include it for this video. And beautiful for fall. All right. It could be 5 distinct prompts. So basically we're asking AI to write us prompts for the after designs. All right. So here's one, and we're going to wait till this just gets done here. We'll see what it does. All right. There's the first one. Let's just jump into there. That's what it calls it. Let's see how that shapes up. Not letting me copy it yet. We'll just let's see where we're going. There we go. All right, so the tool I use is aistudio.google.com. It's Google AI Studio. Okay, this is the best. And you want Nano Banana Pro. Okay, I'm going to move this. You want Nano Banana Pro is the best. Now you can do Nano Banana Pro, 2, and that's pretty good. It's going to cost less. This I believe costs 13 cents an image, so it's not free. You're going to have to get a Google account here. You probably have one through Gmail. I'll put the link to AI Studio in the description, so you can click there. You probably have to set up some payment. As you can see, this is really what's cool about my videos is I'm actually showing you what a lot of developers use and people who are in the business. This is not something that a lot of the public would necessarily use, this particular dashboard. So it's not super user friendly, but once you get using it, it's pretty self-explanatory. You could change your aspect ratio here. I go for square typically for rooms. That's good. Resolution 1K and 2K are the same price. 4K will cost quite a bit more. So I don't use that unless I need something really detailed. All right, so we're going to take our prompt here, and we're going to add the image here so it knows that this is what it designed. And then we're going to run it, okay? And this will take a few minutes. So if it's taken like 3-4 minutes, it's a little bit on the long side. but that's not unusual. Okay, so don't think something's broken if it's not spitting out images immediately. But you'll see that this does really a remarkable job. And what we're going to do is we're just going to punch through. Unfortunately, we can just do one at a time, but we're going to punch through all 5 here. And we're going to see what we end up getting. And then from there, you can take each image and you can download it and then upload it back to AI Studio, and you can then prompt to make specific changes to a particular design. All right, so that was pretty fast, actually. That's really good. I'm very pleased with that. Notice how it really retained all of the important elements there, so that's good. I think what I would do to make this better is we could definitely, add something to the walls. I would change the color scheme as well. That would be the next prompt. So let's see what we do. That's our first one. I'm going to download that just so that we have that. Thought that turned out nicely. Let's see what our next design is going to do. Oh, Ralph Lauren. I like Ralph. I was at a big furniture conference in High Point, and Ralph Lauren had an enormous exhibit there and super impressed. Definitely leans masculine for the most part, which is probably why I like it, but it was really, really cool. Anyways, we're doing our second one here. We got, it did give us a color palette. Looks like, well, it might veer hopefully from the beige original. We forgot to add our before. Let's do it again. We're going to stop. We're going to run it. We forgot the before image. See, when I'm talking and doing videos, I'm just not paying attention here. So we're going to let that run. I'll pause this video in the meantime. Instead of pausing, you know what I do? Might as well just get down to work here. So let's say change this after, okay? This is now a new before, all right? This is new before. Change color scheme to bold fall colors. Let's see what that's going to do. Now let's see how our latest design's going. It's still thinking. It's still thinking. ChatGPT will be faster. I need a prompt. I'm going to tell it, give me the prompt for AI image generator. I know it's boring to watch me do this, but it really, I've spent, I don't know, 9, 10, maybe longer, a year plus working with AI and images. Yeah, much longer than a year, actually, now I come think about it. So I've become very adept at working with it, how to fix things, how to do it better. So we're going to, still thinking. See, this one's a long one. We'll see what we get here. And then we'll do a redo of the other one, and then we'll make some more, and you can see how this process goes. I'll pause for now. Oh, just as it's about to spit something out. All right, here we go. Here's our creation. I don't like it at all. This is no good. All right, so we're going to try something different. I'm not super happy with these. So this is kind of the process, right? It's trial and error, trying to figure out exactly what you want. But what I want to do now is we're going to take this one and we're going to do our after on this particular design. We'll get back to the original. This video is just sort of like showing you how I go about, I got a team that helps me with making these, because as you can see, every single image is very time consuming. We actually go an extra step. If you look on our website, is all of our images will have the before on top and then the after below, just for a frame of reference. Now, you're not going to need that, obviously, because you're going to have your before, but stitching them together as part of the process is also a bit of a trick. That alone took me a week to figure out with prompts and all that. Let's see how we're doing here. Did it even register? Are we even getting anything? Doesn't look like it. So I got to stop talking. Let's see what this does. Thinking. All right, it's thinking. All right, so here we are. Decent, okay, but we're not getting a lot of change with the colors. And so I want to fix that because I want something radically different. All right. So what I've done here is the first 5 prompts are not that good. Need way more change, different colors, more wood to, and so go all out, give me 5 new prompts. All right, so let's see what we do. As soon as we get one, we'll get that going. We're going to set up our before here just so I don't forget, because as you can see, I forget quite a bit. We're going to have to wait. Here we go. You can read the prompts if you want. I'll just kind of scroll down slowly here and you go ahead and read them. AI just spit these out. You can write your own prompts. You certainly don't have to have AI write prompts. And in some cases, that'd be a good example. We'll do a very simple prompt and see what AI comes up with. But as you can see, these are the prompts. They're quite detailed. I would never write that much detail from scratch for me. That's why I get AI to do it. It does it faster. But I think you can see it doesn't always do a superb job. But let's run that and see what happens there. But you could do something as simple as, just make this look into a really nice luxury farmhouse with 2 sofas or 1 armchair and 1 section or whatever, and you could specify that. You could go through, and but the beauty about this is as you can see, I'm just having AI create the prompts because I just want to create a nice room. But chances are, if you're working with your room, you're going to be like, okay, well, I want to see what create an accent wall with orange emphasis. I want a photo gallery on one wall. I want some natural wood beams in the ceiling. I want area rug and hardwood floor on the floor. So you can get really detailed with exactly what you want. You're just going to keep drilling down, drilling down. Now I want to talk about costs as well, because these are about 13 cents an image. And I know that sounds expensive, but as you can see, it takes a while and it is a process. You're not going to nail your first design the first time. It's just not going to happen. It's really trial and error. It's working off what you generate and honing in and trying to get the perfect design. Now this is radically different. I don't like it, but it is definitely different. Let's take a look there. Yeah, it's got sort of like a bold mid-century modern ski chalet look to it. I like mid-century modern. I like ski chalet. I'm not sure those two are working together. I think really the fault of it is this really dark ceiling on top of a really dark floor. If this were lighter or this were lighter, I think that would make all the difference in the world. So instead of redoing that, we're going to go to our next prompt and we'll do that. This video, I could turn this video into hours and you're not here to sit and watch me do this for hours. Don't forget our before. All right. Every time I make a mistake, I think 13 cents, but as I was saying about the cost, I mean, before AI, I mean, you paid someone hours to come up with a handful of designs. So 13 cents is practically nothing. And let's say you burn up 100 images trying to come up with the perfect room. That's $13 and change, or $14 or whatever it is. 13 cents and change per image. Prices, I don't know if they're going to be coming down. That's what it's been for, and that's Nano Banana Pro. Okay, the Plus, or the version 2, which is a tier down, is less expensive. If you're really cost conscious, you can do that. Or you can actually we could just do it here. Create after design. ChatGPT will create images. And in fact, it does a pretty good job. Now, if you get a Plus version that I have, you'll get credits to do it. Let's see what it does. Let's do that here. It's really slow. It is creating it. Watch it beat Google. I like ChatGPT upgraded this recently in 2026 in the summer, the image creation. And I thought it is good. It's just not quite as good as Nano Banana Pro for me. All right, this is, yikes. These are just not great. It's way too dark of a ceiling, but I do like the rest of it. Okay, I'm really digging this. It's an interesting rug. I like that rug, but the ceiling's just far too dark. So what we could do is we could take this image back in there and say, okay, everything the same. Let's go with a much lighter wood ceiling. This is kind of cool though in its own way. Let's see how we're doing here. Look at that. That is almost identical. So what this shows you is you can go ahead and just get a Plus ChatGPT for $20 and create them in here as well. It's quite easy to do. Let's forest screen. I'm a big fan of forest screen. Let's do the same here while this is working. I haven't done a whole lot of ChatGPT 2 just because I use Google AI, and I've always used that because it is the best. I still think it's the best, but I have to admit this turned out really well. Again, with full this design. I just copied that second, another prompt here. Let's see what it does. We're going to do that here again. So you can see we're going to, now I could keep cranking these out. We could do tons and tons and tons. You get the idea. One thing I do want to do though, is I want to take this. All right, I'm going to download that. And the next one we're going to do is we're going to redo this, but we want to make it with a lighter ceiling. All right, that's going to be what we want. Let's set that up right now. Okay, look at this. This is cool. This is like, that's different. I like it. That really works. Notice the floor is a little bit darker than the ceiling and the coffee table, but I do like the match coffee table, and the green just throws in that contrast. That's really cool. Anyways, that's what I think. It's cool. We don't need that. Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll also get ChatGPT. Now, I'm not getting too specific. It usually helps to be more by lighter. What does that mean? AI will interpret what lighter is. It might go really light. It might go mid-light. We don't know. I kind of do like AI just to sometimes make these decisions rather than me, because once we have the result. Okay, that was that cool one. We needed that other prompt. Here it is. Yeah, if you're running, sometimes I used to run like 3, 4 of these going at the same time, and I had ChatGPT with multiple prompts and trying to keep everything straight, what's going on. But you can see if you look at our site, right, and you've probably visited it, and if not, I encourage you to go do it, because we do tons of these daily. We produce very specific galleries for different types of people, different rooms, different styles, everything else, and we do lots of before and afters, because what my site is really trying to do is show really what AI is capable of. That's actually looking a lot better. It went mid, it didn't go full light. But we're also, giving inspiration, and I just really want to get the word out there that, for general Joe Blow homeowner, the potential to use AI to come up with your own designs. And like, these are full room makeovers. Let's say you just wanted some fireplace mantles, and we're going to get to that. One of our most popular articles is at Christmas time is a Christmas fire mantle design, so you could do it even for Christmas and stuff. And I'll do separate videos on that as well. But yeah, I mean, the sky is the limit with this. Let's just see what ChatGPT ended up. Okay, it went a little bit lighter here than Google did, so that's interesting. This is a really nice design. I think that's super. It's definitely leaning masculine, so I could see that's not going to be for everyone, but I really like that. So that I could keep going. I know I did 5 prompts, and we could go through and get 5 prompts, but really between a ChatGPT on its own and or using Google AI Studio with it, either, as you can see, work really, really well. These are tremendous tools. The reason I'm starting this whole channel and showing you this sort of thing is I've used a ton of the home design and room design AI stuff, and they're good. I got no problems with it. I think a lot of them are outstanding. I've mentioned them, I've promoted them, I've used them. But at the end of the day, essentially most of those are somehow pulling in like API codes. Well, I don't want to get all jargony on you, but basically they're piggybacking on some foundation AI. So ChatGPT is OpenAI. That's a foundation AI. It's not you piggybacking or licensing AI capabilities from something else. Claude is another one. Well, I don't use Claude for this sort of stuff. And then Google AI or Gemini, its entire Gemini suite of products, which includes AI Studio. That's a foundation AI, and a lot of AI software out there just basically piggyback on these. And I'm not saying that's bad; it's good because they do help. The point here is if you're actually going to go use the foundation AI, you're not stuck to choosing whatever the software they give you. Usually they say, oh, you want modern, you want transitional. You're kind of hedged in with the options that they provide. This gives you unfettered control over what you want to design. Now, does it always spit out exactly what you had in mind? No, but you can tweak it. But you could go in here and we could say, well, let's just do that. I know I keep saying this is going to get shorter. Let's just use, oh, okay. Let's make the sofa British racing green. Let's see what that happens. That'll be interesting. Ha! Look at that. That did a really nice job. It's actually not bad. I prefer the original. I prefer this, but not terrible. So just like that, you can go ahead and tweak specific elements of whatever room that you're working on. You can see this is fun. I've done this for a long time, and we do it as a business, and I still have an absolute ton of fun creating these. Future videos will do some super fun stuff. Like I did this article on what if you ended up with an old military submarine and you wanted to turn it into a house. I mean, I know that's ridiculous. No, very few people are going to go live on a submarine, but it created, you can go search home stratosphere and look for submarine before and afters or something, and you'll see it. And it's just truly, truly, truly cool stuff. Thanks for watching.